Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make text wrap around a cob. So you'll see that I've got this cutout dog, right? The first thing that I did to make things a little bit easier is you'll see all these different layers that I've got, right? So I've got a click and go here. I've got some graph going on down here. I've got a paragraph over here. And you'll see this one little anchor point that I've already created. But it was difficult for me because I kept clicking on other stuff and it was really annoying. So the first thing that I did is I clicked, and remember, this is your save place. So go back and choose your direct selection tool. So I clicked my dog, right? This is what I want to focus on. And then over here on the right-hand side, I said bring to the front. So now the dog is the front object, right? That's what I'm focusing on. I want to make sure that that's what I'm mainly focusing on. You'll also notice that right now the blue box is selected and we actually don't want the blue box. So the blue box is the image that we have in the Photoshop file. So we're going to click on it so that it's focusing only on this yellow box. That's really what we're going to hone in on. Then on the left-hand side, you're going to come over here and it defaults to pen tool. So right-click that, and then you're going to add an anchor point. So I'm going to go through, and it looks like there's like a dip right there. So I'm going to hit a little point there, point there, point there, point there, and point there. And all I'm doing is I'm making places for me to be able to pull the box in. So you'll see that there's a dip there. So, and then maybe a couple down here. And you can tell if you've made it if the little dots, right? Okay, so that's probably good, all right? And so now I'm going to start pulling these in. So I'm going to go back to my selection tool. So there are my anchor points. Okay, so once you have your little anchor points wherever you want them, you are then going to, and again, you'll see I'm on the different selection. So this is the selection tool and I'm on the direct selection tool. So you're going to double click inside the box and you'll see, don't worry about this blue stuff. You'll see that these little boxes have gone from gold to white, and that is when you can actually start moving them. So I'm going to move this box here. And then I'm going to move this, and I don't want to cut off his ear. So I'm going to move this here. And then I'm going to move this anchor point down here. And then I'm going to move this anchor point. And you'll see like it's getting angry at me because it's like, why do you have 9,000 proxy things going on, right? So we've had that before. Whenever I'm using the screencastify, it like gets mad. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making all of these little points because the ultimate goal is that I'm going to have text go around our little doggy dog. So I'm going to bring this here. And I'll bring this down here. So just bear with me. I know you're like, okay, I gotta. But you know how this stuff goes, right? Oh, see now this is good because you can see that if you don't have enough anchor points, you could potentially, I almost cut off his foot, and we don't want to do that, right? We definitely don't want to cut off his little hand, his little puppy hand. Okay. So now I'm going to start bringing some of these other ones in. You don't have to be as precise as I'm being right now. Like this is really nitpicky, but I'm nitpicky, as you guys know. And like this little guy is really annoying me. So I'm just going to bring him here. Okay. And let's, ooh, almost cut off his little foot. Okay. So what I probably want to do is add another anchor point. So I probably want to add an anchor point here, and then I want to add another anchor point over here. So now I'm going to come back to add an anchor point. And my boxes are still white, so I can't do that. So let's try switching gears. Right click, let's do pen tool, and then right click, and let's do add an anchor point and see if it lets us. There it goes. Okay, so now they're gold. And what did I say? I want one over here, right? Anywhere else? I think that's good. Maybe one right there. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to go back to my direct selection. So all I want is the doggy dog. So double click inside and you'll see now my anchor points are white again. So I'm going to do this. And then remember I made this one. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Now I've got it, right? Okay. So now I want to do text on a line. So I'm going to come over here to my text box, and then it's my type tool, right? So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go type on a path. And you'll see I've got this little, like, it looks like a little cursor that you would use to write, correct? Okay. And when I go over stuff, you see that little tiny plus sign that pops up? That means that it's recognizing the edge of something. And I can sort of type around it, but I want to type very specifically around the edge of my doggy dog. So I'm going to come over here and you see how the little plus pops up? There's the plus. So I'm going to click there and I'm going to say something along the lines of Rover is a well-loved member of the Milton family, and he joined us on many class adventures. So you'll see when you're super tight like that, especially because it's all caps, so like it doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you're super tight like that, the letters start to layer over each other. So you can go like too far with this. You can go too far so that it's like difficult to read because your anchor points are so tight. But if you want to do something like that, like if you want to have a cob and have the different like layers or the captions or whatever go around the dog itself or around the cob that you've cut out, that's how you do it, right? And then remember, whenever I do anything, file, save, and now the work is done.